Hello, Monarchs. Welcome to the second video for lesson 6.2, solving linear systems by substitution. If you have not done so already, please go back and watch video 1. We went over this first example here and completed the first example. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to example 2 and follow the same exact steps that we did in example 1. Okay. So for example 2, we're going to follow our first step, which if we look at the top of our sheet, our first step is to start by selecting the equation that has one variable alone, right? So we start by selecting the equation that has one variable alone, which in this case is this top one again. We have y equals x minus 1, okay? So on this side, I write that equation, I'll write y equals x minus 1. And on this side is where I'm going to do my substitution, right? I'm going to plug everything in for y right next to that negative 5, right? So on this side, I'm going to write out my substitution. So I have, first, I have x minus, so x minus, okay, then 5. And this is where I start my substitution, okay? If you look, there's a y right next to my 5, and I already know what y equals. So everywhere I see a 5, I want to plug in what my y equals. And I know my y equals x minus 1. So instead of y here, in parentheses, I'm going to put times x minus 1, okay? And then that equals negative 15. Okay, so where there was a y here, I subbed in what my y equals, and that's what I got. And now I'm just going to solve this equation. Okay, so I'm going to bring down my x because the first thing that I want to do is this distributive property. So I'm going to distribute this negative 5 into the x and into the negative 1. So negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Okay. Negative 5 times negative 1, a negative times a negative gives me a positive. So that's plus 5. And then I have equals negative 15. Okay. So again, I always want to combine my like terms. So if you look, we have two numbers that share an x. We have 1x here. This is a 1x. And then we have minus 5x's. Okay. So we want to combine those first because they have the same variable. They are like terms, so we can combine them. Okay. So we have 1x minus 5x. 1x minus 5x would give me negative 4x's. Okay, negative 4x. I bring down my plus 5 and my equals negative 15. Okay, draw my line straight down, and we're going to solve this like we would any other problem. Okay, so I want to get my x by itself. So first I have to move what is not attached to it, which is this plus 5. So I'm going to move that plus 5 to the other side of the equal sign by doing the opposite operation, which would be a minus 5. So I'm going to subtract 5 on both sides of my equation. Okay, so 5 minus 5 is 0, so those cancel out. So I get negative 4x equals negative 15 minus 5. I'd go more negative, negative 20. Okay. Now I just have to get x by itself. All that's left is that negative 4 that's right out in front of it, which means it's multiplying it. I know the opposite of multiplication is division, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1, so I get 1x, or just x equals, and then negative divided by a negative gives me a positive, and it's positive 5. Okay, so then my x value then is going to be a positive 5. Okay, so now we're going to use this side and plug in my x value to find my y. Okay, so I'm going to do y equals, okay, and now I know that my x is 5, so instead of an x, I'm going to plug in a 5 because we already found out that my x is 5, right? So now I'm going to plug in a 5 for my x, and then I have minus 1, okay? 5 minus 1 is 4, so y equals 4, okay? So my y is 4, okay? So the answer, the solution to this set of problems is 5, 4. Okay, so I'll leave this up there for a second. You guys are more than welcome to pause it as well. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to the back. There's a couple try it problems on the back. So remember, these try it ones are usually the ones that we do on our own. So what I'm going to do is just do them fairly quickly, because what you guys should do right now is pause this video, try to do these on your own, then resume the video, or actually we're going to watch the next video because we have to go on to the next video to see the correct answer to this problem. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next